Hi guys, so I have just been scrolling on Instagram and have seen a post regarding the social credit system in China, and it was a very well put together video which kind of gives us the perspective of big data running things. And what was interesting to me is the belief system of the people. So they interview a couple of people, and these people, so basically their belief systems lie in the fact that this is a functional, positive system that helps them run the country or the state or the province in a highly functional way that is safe for people, and that really allows people to strive to be better, because obviously this is a social credit scoring system, meaning that if you do good deeds you get a better score. And of course you have to understand that this runs on a full AI system that is permanently tracking you, meaning there is absolutely no privacy. Okay, so again, these people are basically in the belief system that this structure, this system is functional and actually optimal for them, because it is allowing these states to run in a space of peace, in a space of tranquility to a certain degree, all right, where things are being done by its citizens to keep their score within a range that is deemed as positive. So I thought that was really interesting, because our reality is based upon our belief system. And instead of this video triggering me, it was just a beautiful lesson. And this is why I've come online at this point in time. It's a beautiful lesson. We have to understand that our reality is created based upon our belief system. So if those citizens believe that this structure is good for them, then that is going to be the predominant consciousness that is being built and being held, in fact, together. It's glued together by a whole bunch of belief systems that believe that this structure is good for them. Now, obviously, you scroll down the comments and you see what people say. The other thing that I picked up is, you know, people are inherently believing that this is good and it is making them a better person. All right. Where the intricate nature of this topic comes in is the following. Are they becoming better people because they are so afraid to step out of line? All right. And so they're actually being pushed into doing things that would not naturally be part of their daily activities, for example's sake. All right. But again, from an energetic perspective, this push, according to them, is making them a better person. So even if it is being driven by fear, the feeling of doing good for others and being a good citizen according to the structure that has been created is making them feel better. So what does that do in an energetic space? It increases the frequency, because everyone is skipping to the beat of the instructions that have been given, whether they were driven by fear or not. It is actually making them feel better. Again, please understand that I'm just giving examples here, and based on the very short snippet that I saw, and of course we're working in a pie chart here. There will be people that are feeling that this is not sovereign, that they are being spied on, etc., etc. I am just giving you a teaching and a perspective on ways to think about this from an energetic perspective and from a consciousness perspective. Okay, so even if the instructions are driven by fear, the actions taken among the citizens are actually making them feel better. What is that doing to the collective frequency? If everyone's actually sitting in the space of, wow, I'm feeling amazing because this system is asking of me or pushing me to some degree to be a nice person, to be a better person, to help those. Also, the system, from what I saw in the snippet as well, asks of people to give of their time to do services in the community that are not paid for, all right? It also asks of people, and again, please understand this is going to be a trigger moment, it also asks of people, neighbors, to be taking stock and account of what their neighbors are doing alongside of them. They have a quota that they need to arrive to, so 10 entries per week with regards to their neighbors. So each one is checking on the other. So we can use the word each one is spying, each one is checking. The other way of looking at it, again, please understand this is merely a teaching of perspective, is to say that each one is watching another in care to hold the other accountable. All right? Again, we have to go right down to the system. Is the accountability that is required based on a system that was structured around fear? All right? So this is where we step into higher consciousness levels. So if we take that system away, so my theory is, wouldn't it be wonderful if humans were just wonderful people? If humans were so connected with their blueprint, which is source, which is abundant, creative, peaceful, loving beings, wouldn't it be wonderful if we didn't need that system, whether it was perceived as a fear-based system or merely just a system? Wouldn't it be wonderful if humans could just be sovereign and wonderful beings? And we didn't need a system like this implemented to get us going, you know, like a flock of sheep. Okay, so again, this video is going to be very triggering. The point I'm trying to make is and I've warned you, it's going to be triggering. The point I'm trying to make is, dear human beings, it is time we deal with our trauma, because what happens in this video is, if you are not skipping to the beat of this program, this particular structure, this social credit system, is you get outcast. And that is where I find a fault in this particular system. You get outcast, you can't travel, you can't buy train tickets. If you, I read also, it was stated that if you connect or speak to someone with a social credit scoring that is low, your points go down. So in essence, we are outcasting those that are not skipping to the beat. And that is where the fault is, because, and please remember, these beats are quite a structured set of instructions. It may not even be down to rape, murder, or pillaging someone. It may be just jaywalking. It may be not having paid your traffic fine on time and you become outcast to the system. And that, I believe, is completely incorrect. This is an indoctrinated system and an inorganic system, and this is where I wanted to chat about. This creates an inorganic system where, again, there's more of this fear-based frequency. So I've given you two polar opposites. It's working beautifully for some. But if you are moving through something else, a different reality experience, you begin to be an outcast within a system for doing minor things that you may perceive as just completely human. Forgetting to take the trash out. It comes down to your backyard needs to be clean. And so we begin to constrict ourselves with regards to creationism energy in an inorganic structure that is not asking, or that is not providing, a platform for human beings to be, for us to experience this polarity experience. And I laughed earlier because the point I was trying to make, and that's where I ended off the sentence and then diverted. The point I was trying to make is, human beings, we need to begin to learn that this is a polarity experience, that the universal and natural laws are going to be pinging back to us all the time. But they have created an inorganic structure that is paying back to you that you are at fault. You are then cast out and you begin to feel shameful And this is not an energetic frequency that we want to hold. We are trying to lift this frequency so that you can truly express yourselves in your human elements as a sovereign being. And whether you do right or wrong, which is merely perceived, because remember, it is all source. It is all a yin and yang. There is darkness within light. There is lightness within dark. It is all one. And now we're creating more separation. So as much as the beginning of this video was like, awesome, what is this doing to the frequency? Again, I'm merely asking you to ask questions within yourself about structures, about how things are formed, about creationism energy, about sovereignty. How do we live as beings? And the point I was trying to make, third time around, is the following. These structures are being created because we are not standing in our sovereignty. And in fact, they are oftentimes trigger points that I believe humans are probably the densest, and dare I say, I'm struggling to say the word, but I'm gonna free this box, all right? We are dumb. And that is why these structures and these systems are being implemented, because we haven't realized existentially who we are, what we are a part of, that we are souls, an infinite experience capable of enormous amounts of power, change, abundance. And in our stupidity, our lack of standing in our sovereignty, our empowered selves, we have allowed these consciousnesses to come in, these energetic structures, these inorganic formats to rule our lives. So, wise up. Wise up, dear humans. Because, you know, our vaccination passports, all of this nanochip technology, etc., 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 it is okay because it is part of the source structure. But it needs to be okay with you. And if you are not okay with it, watch how you are. What are you fighting for? We need to step out of that fighting frequency. We need to step into sovereignty. All right? And again, I'm very grateful to have come across that video, because part of it, which is what I began in this video, was to chat about, wow, if majority of people are feeling good about this credit scoring system or this social credit scoring system, then how does that change the frequency? But of course, there are billions of souls on the planet. And if this is instituted and those that get cast away and have to hide in shame for not putting the trash out, as an example, that I believe is an inorganic, destructive program. All right? So again, I ask you, how are you stepping into your sovereignty today? What are you aligning to, consciously or unconsciously? What are you consenting to, consciously or unconsciously? Because your reality creates, or your belief systems create your future, your reality, your future timeline, the timeline of our children. This is what is important. What do our children step into? Imagine a child has a runny nose and its credit score system, or its mother's credit score system, drops down because she hasn't wiped that nose within 2 minutes of it beginning to run. I mean, is this freedom? Is this sovereignty? Are we learning from an organic structure that is our relationship with the universal laws and it pinging back to us? Or are we learning from an inorganic structure that is sort of whipping us each time we step out of line to what is perceived by them as right or wrong? All right? So what is right to you? What feels good to you? How does it leave you emotionally? What personal credit scoring system do you have in place for yourself that in fact is that pinging back system that the universal laws give us? And this is why I say, humans, beings, my lovelies, my beloveds, wake up, regain your power, and understand you are a sovereign being with unlimited powers, unlimited expansion energy. What are you consenting to? I think I'm done. Lots of love to you guys. Lots and lots of love. Don't let these videos trigger you. Remember, they're merely teachings asking you to think out of the box. Yes, what am I consenting to today? Awesome. Sending you loads of love. Mwah.